Hey guys, it's Caleb with White Metal Games here, and I got a special video for you this morning. So I met with one of my resident painters last night, John Elbro. John is a painter, came on a couple years ago. I met him at a local con, and he's just a really good painter, and I just normally give him a bunch of miniatures every 3 or 4 months, and just kind of let him have his way with them, and just see what he comes up with, and I'll give him suggestions, but he really comes up with some fun stuff, so here we go. So he brought me all of the stuff I gave him, and then he gave me some extra stuff to sell on eBay for him, and so I'm just going to kind of go through a couple of these that are kind of fun. So the deal with my resident painters is what I do is I simply hire painters on to do some smaller projects for me, painters that I like their work and that I like the way they paint, and that those painters are looking for painting work, but they're not willing to go all out and do their own company and that sort of stuff. So it kind of works out perfectly in that they work for me, I pay them a set rate, and then it allows me to expand my portfolio much more quickly. It allows me to work with more clients. It allows me to have specialized painters in-house if a client has a specific request. So that's just sort of an overview of everything, and obviously you can see it's a vast variety of projects. So first off, I had him do some dioramas. I had a bunch of random miniatures left around, and I wanted to showcase what we could do with dioramas. So this is something that he did. Actually, it's really fun. I wanted to have some superheroes fighting in a crowded alley, but he took the alley and he kind of flipped it on its head and made it a very dynamic scene. So he's got these exploding barrels and this Iron Man wannabe character over here on the side, and then this strange villain, I think they call Jackhammer, and the idea is that he smashes things really hard. What I really like about this diorama is that, one, Iron Man's kind of floating on this pillar of blue smoke, and then the barrels obviously are quite good. This is a Halloween-themed diorama. We just had some random fantasy sort of miniatures that were in a larger scale, so we really couldn't use them in traditional gaming. So we were like, let's put them on a little diorama and have some fun with them. So you got kind of a Jack the Ripper type, a zombie type, and sort of a Phantom of the Opera type, all on this very creepy sort of dark diorama. And then finally we've got this war diorama, which is very traditional. You can see it's got sort of a terrorist guy over here with a bomb and some, looks like some gasoline. And then he's got 3 of these, and I just used IG, some Catachan figures to represent the sort of soldiers allied against him. So yeah, it's kind of a last stand for this guy, which I think is great. A lot of fun. And then he came up with his own dioramas for a couple of these figures. This is a War Walker on 60 mil base from the 40K line. But he's got kind of a scout down here in the bushes. The color scheme is a neat mix of white and blue. You can see the scout down there. And another cool thing about this project is he wanted to do some barbed wire or some vines growing on this figure. So it's a little hard to see because this camera doesn't focus on macro in recording, but if you look closely you can kind of see here there's these leaves, and the leaves are not painted on, they're actually plastics, and then wrapped around the legs is a brass wire that he's used to look like vines. And so I think it looks really nice. It's really a neat effect. It looks cool. It's hard to tell whether or not this guy has been here so long that stuff has grown up over him, or if he's just using it as camouflage, but either way it looks really good. Obviously this figure is a massive figure. So this was a true scale Greater Demon we did. We wanted to do a true scale Bloodthirster. We had a lot of cool bits laying around, so we did that. And he put them on this big lava base, so it's really dynamic. So you can see the lava is kind of flowing through this eddy of rock, and there's some sort of shower of lava coming out of there. And he did a really neat modeling effect on the wings. I mean, he's got a lot of colors worked in here, like the axe has a lot of greens in it, which is a neat sort of oxidized color for the metals. Yeah, and then he's got the traditional Cornish red colors going on, and he's got this big bony whip kind of. So it looks good. This is a Chaos Dreadnought. This is a Forge World Dreadnought that he did. It looks like it was originally, I guess it's just traditional Black Legion, but he's done it in red. So it's kind of a different look, but it looks great. I really like it quite a bit. And then this mini diorama is a Orc Weird Boy, and you've got him on a really nice scenic base with this kind of portal opening behind him, which looks really good. And then he's got his little Weird Boy guys there holding him back, sort of restraining him. And you can see he's on a Skull Plenty kind of base, which looks great. This is a character called Frank. It is not Frank Gallagher, because Hassle-Free Miniatures cannot call it Frank Gallagher, but it is an alcoholic on a side of the road kind of thing. It looks good. And a lot of fine detail on that figure. Let me see if the camera will focus in for a second. It may not. It's having a hard time. But anyway, regardless of which, it's a nice looking figure. You can see the nice flesh tones there. He's got two of these Rattling Sniper figures, and he's done those up on their own little 40mm bases. And you can see lots and lots of details there, from the helmets to the discarded standards to just, everything. They look real good. Then he's got this Vampire Count's Lord. He's done this guy up in great detail. And this guy, in addition to that, is also on a separate base. He's on a display base, and then his regular cavalry base. So you can use them either way. These two science fiction-y vehicles. I've seen these from another company before. I don't remember if it's Hassle-Free Miniatures. I'll have to look. But, yeah. She's got a couple sci-fi cars. This one's sort of more, less sci-fi, more brown beater. But, yeah, looks good. And then finally, rounding out the mix, some orcs. And actually, the camera's having a really hard time focusing that close. So let's move these guys back a little bit. There we go. Great. So yeah, so we got an orc, the equivalent of a mech. I forget what they call those. I think they're called mechs. So they're not. Yeah. So there it is, orc mech and a couple ammo runs. It looks like. And finally, rounding out the mix, we've got this guy back here. He is a Rackham figure. Now it's hard to tell the scale there. Let me put him up next to a 40K Mini to see there. There you go. So he is traditionally a little bit bigger than 28mm. He's around 30mm, and he is on a display style base, and he's meant to be used as a Khorne Herald. So you could use him as just sort of a giant Khorne demon, kind of growing out of the Bloodletter phase and into the Bloodthirster phase, kind of in that mid phase. So yeah, it looks great. I really like it a lot. One of the things that John did really fun with this project was he took the reds of Khorne and he mixed in some blue, so it's a nice contrasting color. So it's fun. It's different. Okay, so yeah, that's it. So I'll be taking some final pictures of all these, and these will be up for sale on the block in the next couple days. There is a link to our eBay store through our Facebook page. So if you're on our Facebook page, then just simply look for the link that says eBay at the top of the page. And then on YouTube, you can actually look in the comments field and follow that through to our eBay store. So lots of ways to find our stuff. And if you have any questions about anything or see anything here you like, want to comment on, please feel free to do so. Give us a like on Facebook if you think about it. And if you're interested in having a model commissioned with us, just contact us at caleb@whitemodelgames.com. And that's about it. So put your minis where your mouth is.